Time for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Join your host, the accomplished Dr. Cherilyn Lee, as she welcomes the leading experts in health and well-being as they explore the advancements in natural health, physical fitness, nutrition, integrative medicine, and self-discovery.
Welcome. It's Dr. Sarah Larsen on the NuWellness show. This is Dr. Lee's NuWellness, and today we have so much amazing content for you. We are talking about heartbreak. We're talking to you about forgiveness and about 7 secrets that will heal your heart. Your heart is so beautiful and it's capable of so much. When you've had a heartbreak, one of the hardest things to deal with is moving forward. The words heartbreak are so beautiful because they really show you that you've got to take a break. And for me, as a young kid, I watched every kind of Hindi movie, Elvis movie, Bob Hope movie in the villages. And my image of love, the implantation, my images, everything about love was it's absolute. In Indian movies and Hindi movies, the guy overcomes amazing obstacles to be able to love. Girls stand for girls. Sisters they become. Never to betray. Best friends in every shape and form. Going the distance. Donating the kidney or the organ. And then we come to, and so many of us, you probably have the same all conditions love. You have this knowing that real love is all conditions love. That's what real forgiveness is. That no matter what or how a person shows up, no matter how or you show up, you're forgiven by your beloveds, by the ones you love. I have an online community called Miracle Makers Academy. This beautiful academy, we have a group of us that are committed to doing the most that you can do for another human being, the most that you can do with your own potential. That's the beautiful thing about forgiveness, because within forgiveness is all of your human potential. The word heartbreak means that you break, that you need to take a break, that you break open a part of you that wasn't available before the heartbreak. Those Indian movies, the Elvis and the Bob Hope movies, the musicals, and even current day shows where you stand up for one another. You love no matter what. And we're going to dive into each one of those 7 secrets. We're going to tell you, Dr. Lee and myself, all of the things that your heart can do when you take a break and you allow yourself to really deeply feel. Our world currently looks like it does because so many did not step into taking a break and seeing what the potential of that heartbreak, seeing what the potential of forgiveness could be. We now know through science and through epigenetics and all of the research, everything that your parents, grandparents, society didn't deal with, well, it's now landed in your genetics. It's now landed in the way that your brain develops. If you had trauma as a kid, or if your parents had trauma, you have less neofrontal cortex. The only way to make more brain matter, more when you see more of your brain, just
So grateful for opening up. We know about LA traffic, so
we're together.
oh,
And
so
thank you for having me on your show.
oh no, thank you for being here. And our topic is so because we both know affect our heart. So
It's me, Dr. Lee.
because
I'm Sarah. First name, Sarah, concentration camp. History of humanity being, if I could embody that, like our big grandmother, Sarah,
Yes,
right? Our
yes.
body hope, which also means it's this. Oh.
to a lot of deep pain. So they do wake up and say, those are the people who are ill.
Those are the people that are ill. Those
ill.
healthy people
Do
don't
not
wake
say
up
that.
and say, gosh, I'm going to go hurt someone.
Mhm.
It winds up being a coping mechanism, self-protective
Right.
mechanism.
That's why you don't want to get into this. I've dealt with people in the clinic that was into revenge.
Yes.
So that's why I said what I did.
Yes.
And so if you go to bed at night, a lot of times people have too many people in their bed.
Yes.
They have the person, their boss at work, or their coworker from work, or the person, the next door neighbor, or not their loved one who's already physically in bed, but you have people in bed with you because you're holding on, and then they wonder why they can't sleep.
Yes.
They have insomnia. You got to let go of all of that. See those people, let go, and forgive them. Forgiveness is the key.
Forgiveness is the key. And why to forgive, how to forgive.
Exactly.
And the benefits of forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
The benefits of forgiving is you can go to sleep at night.
Yes.
You can really be in bed with your husband, your beloved
And not
wife.
all those other people that was
Right.
that's on your mind. You go to bed with too much clutteredness in your mind of other people.
Then your body doesn't have the time to relax
And heal.
And they found in research when you get a cut, there's a region of your brain, the anterior cingulate cortex shows up injured, and your body takes a time out, releases proteins and hormones to help that region of your body.
The fibers, tissues to heal. That's why I tell people, do not, if you have like a covering over a cut,
yes,
don't go pick it off.
Right.
The body actually put it there for a reason.
It put it there
so
for
that it
a
can
reason.
heal underneath. So don't go take it off.
Right. And when you
It'll fall off.
have heartbreak, they found the same region of the brain lights up in your
Yes.
heartbreak.
Yes.
And there is this, it's so important to take a break whenever you think or start feeling or recognizing that you're hurt or someone else is hurt.
Exactly.
Because we know now that our hearts are constantly communicating.
Yes, they are.
So when you're
and
in
that
bed,
heartbeat is so important. So at Harvard, they did a 12-week study dealing with cardiovascular disease and forgiveness at Harvard University. And it was amazing, from tachycardia to chest pain, angina, MIs, heart attack. When the heart is affected through emotions and from pain and hurt, I tell people, if you are going through anything and your heart is involved and when you feel the pain, quickly let go of it. If you can, quickly do some deep breathing. And then I can show you a breathing exercise that's really good to help with the sympathetic nervous system, so you're not rushing and flooding the body with so much cortisol. Real simple technique that only takes 1 minute. You can do this driving down the street, which I do a lot. But you want to make sure, too, that you kind of keep some, nutritional things like coenzyme Q10, some things kind of in your diet. When you're definitely going through a breakup,
Yes.
which is prolonged. The prolonged heartbreak and the prolonged heart pain would lead to a heart attack because that's what's going to happen. So you want to definitely do something nutritionally about that and try to get with someone. And we're going to go through the 7 keys of healing that, but make sure on the nutritional side too, the coenzyme Q10 is very, very important. And if you have questions about what type, just let me know. I don't know if you stated it because I was a little late, but I want people to know if you have any questions today, please text us those questions, and we will get those questions answered for you.
So write them in the comments. If you're watching this live on Facebook or on YouTube, we committed to answering your questions.
Yes, we
45 minutes after the show. Go ahead and share the show. If you know someone who you wish to have a healed heart, if you know someone that's needing forgiveness,
yes,
or you're wanting to create a conversation with around this to help them heal, share this, like this, and in the comments, let us know how we can help you. We totally know what it's like to go through heartbreak.
Yes, we do.
We know what it's like to have the feelings of, wow, not being able to stop crying.
Yes, and betrayal.
Yes.
Betrayal is very heartbreaking, especially when you give so much to others, and then you have someone to betray you. And I've gone through that myself. I had an incident not too long ago, and it started me doing something that now I put it out there, because I tell people you can take the best supplements, the best diet, exercise, but if you haven't dealt with forgiveness, so I call it now, everybody always telling me I'm detoxing. So now I call it my detox forgiveness.
Yes.
So it's going to be a website, detoxforgiveness.com. But I want everyone to keep that in mind. Detox forgiveness. And that's done daily. We got to detox yourself from all of those negative
just like you need a shower every day, just like you need rest to be able to repair your body.
Yes.
Just like you need, I love that you bring up coenzyme Q10, resveratrol, the berries, and the fresh fruit. We have a class in Miracle Makers Academy that deals, a master class that deals with healing your heart,
you
your
have
physical
to heal the
heart.
Because I have seen people, I know 2 very close people who died of a heart attack from a broken heart. And it's actually broken heart syndrome from the Mayo Clinic. So this is actually not something we just sat here and said, let's just talk about this. This is actually research and documented from the Mayo Clinic.
From the Mayo Clinic and Heart Math Institute, which shows that the second that you go into frustration, or the second you're thinking about something that hurts your heart puts out a frequency that has less blood flow to your brain. And I love that
more viscosity. So the blood is becoming thicker.
And your blood becomes thicker.
And atherosclerosis, it's get the lining of the heart. You're going to have that to happen too, or the arteries.
And of all the, and so if you're sitting and you've gone through something and you're feeling a lower vibration, what I mean by that is you're feeling guilt, you're feeling shame, you're feeling anger, or you're feeling a wish to connect deeply. This is one of the first of the 7 secrets that we teach in Miracle Makers Academy, that everyone that we come across can benefit from this.
Right.
Get in the moment. The first step is, recognize.
Feel present.
get
Yeah.
present.
Mm-hmm.
Feel your heartbeat. Think about what's in the room right there in the moment. So if you've had a betrayal, or you are in a relationship and it broke up before you were complete with it, and you're thinking about that person, and the thoughts of how to get them back, or the thoughts of really wanting to be understood. You were misunderstood in a situation.
Yes.
The first thing is to take a break, get in the current moment, drink a glass of water, do a breathing technique, something that will allow you to come in. For me,
and let's just start doing that too, because even when people are listening now, and have a pen and paper. But I want to share something really quick about being in the moment that I kind of learned the hard way. I want to say that. And that was when most people know I've been in 2 comas, but it was the second coma when I finally had this long journey, and I'm not going to get into the journey. I'm just going to talk about the end of that journey, when I was on my knees and was told I had to come back. Well, coming back, it was like, what am I going back to? And being in the moment is what I felt right then. And that moment that was so precious and so wonderful and so serene. I did not think of all the other things happening in my life, especially going through a divorce and dealing with children. And, it was a lot. And a job that was not so nice, during that time. I didn't think about that, because you don't. You're just right there in the moment. And in coming out of that, and I said, that's how we have to live, in the moment. And that took so much stress off, because you don't remember the past. We don't have eyes in the back of our head so we can walk, the other way. We have eyes put in the front of our body. We want to move forward. We keep our car driving. We don't drive in reverse. We drive forward.
So true.
Yeah. So
it's
stay in the moment.
Stay in the moment. And
enjoy it.
And the Dalai Lama teaches that if to really get and feel grateful, here is a man for generation after generation has been nurtured, healthy upbringing over and over again. When we measure his brain, and when we measure his heart, and we measure the output communication that's happening there, it's so beautiful.
Big difference.
Big difference. So listening to his words, listening to his heart, he shares, get into gratitude, being able to feel and create in the current moment. So you coming out of the coma, me in the studio here
in the
present moment.
Yes.
Wow, I'm so grateful that we have a great producer on the show with us. I'm so grateful that we have all of this research, all of the education combined, probably like 40 years worth.
And people have asked me, they said, oh my goodness, you look so different.
Yes.
Because I'm doing more and more of the forgiveness and the detoxing from that, because things happen on a daily basis that we have to let go of.
We have to let go of getting present. Your body heals in the present moment. Your possibilities live in the present moment.
Yes.
And where does the past actually live? This is a really great question. I want you, Miracle Maker, to think about that just for a second. The past actually lives in front of you. It's if you haven't dealt with forgiveness, if you haven't dealt with all the things that caused you pain or caused your parents pain, well, it's right there. It's a lens. And if you start thinking about what you're grateful for, and the Dalai Lama says, if you can't think of something you're grateful for, then get into what you're grateful you're not. So you can step into, So you're in your car, you see someone pushing a cart, and you're like, God, I'm so grateful I'm not homeless, or I'm not that person pushing the car, because it really creates the currency of flow in your heart.
And you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. This is why I have a problem sometimes with a lot of rallies.
Yes.
Only because certain rallies, and if everybody knows about the pH of their body.
Yes.
If it's something that's going to make you very anxious, you're going to become very acid.
Yes.
Unless you turn that around, and then what's happening to your body, what's happening to the cell tissues themselves, which is very important. So if you're doing something of that nature, then quickly do something or do some breathing exercises while you're standing there or sitting in a rally, or I forbid watching a lot of news, which a lot of people still do.
Yes.
And then they sit there and they wonder why they feel so bad, from watching a lot of the things that are happening. So be careful where you take your mind and what you do in your own time, which is important as well.
So beautiful. So that first step, be present in the moment.
Be present.
Know that the past clouds your ability to see. If you can start seeing in the moment, bring your body into the moment. What's the temperature of your skin? What are you tasting in your mouth right now? What does your hair feel like on your body? And to really...
The wind, just
right.
the wind blowing,
So you
How is
use
that?
all of your body to bring you in the moment. You use your attention to focus on something you can be grateful for, or something you're grateful at the very least that you're not. Then you really get into, it's a step to get present in the moment.
Yes.
Over and over and
Yes.
over again, especially when it's very, very
then
difficult.
It's repetitious, and the more you do it, the more it becomes
Yes.
a habit, and it's a positive, good habit.
And you can step into number 2, the second key, or the second secret, or the second thing that you can do is recognize that that the past lives here, and you're judging the past. Whenever you got hurt, however you got hurt. And I remember one of my clients, so beautiful. She and I talked about her dad putting her in an elevator. Her dad put her and her sister in an elevator. The elevator went up, and on the other side was her mom, who got custody. And her dad had to leave the building, and her dad never spoke to her again. Her or her sister, and they might have been 12 and 11. And she had such a heartbreak around that. She'd never been in a meaningful relationship.
Yes.
And she was judging that moment as absolute. During the work, she got present in the moment, and then recognized that she was judging. That's key number 2. Recognize that you're judging that moment as fixed.
Yes.
It was a fixed moment in her mind. She went up. The rest of her life was transformed. Her last image. And if she could feel what it felt like, even in that moment, to be her dad, to leave his beloved daughters that he fought for and lost in court, in an elevator, and drive away, he's still stuck in that moment. Another client, he lost all of his wealth. He couldn't face his daughters because he didn't have the wealth to give to them. He lost it in fighting for the divorce. And so 30 years later, working with me, discovered, oh my gosh, I was judging myself as not worthy of being with my daughters. We know that
same person. I had him call his daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Did he
beautiful?
tell you? I had him call his daughter.
Yes.
And it was nothing that he thought it was going to be. It was actually wonderful.
It was actually wonderful.
It was actually wonderful. We know some of the same people.
Right. But we refer clients back and forth because we believe in each other's work.
Yeah.
So beautifully. This beautiful journey that he's on, amazing. His body's healing. His relationships are healing. The effect of that was a fixed moment. The key is to understand the other person sees it differently.
Yes.
And you're judging it through your past, through your lens, and to really allow yourself to see that you're judging it.
Exactly.
And you're the one that's keeping it locked in place.
And that's the reason why the book that I have written entitled Written Before I Was Born, the first chapter is Through the Eyes of a Child.
Yes.
And sometimes I go beyond with my patients, not just through your eyes as a child, what did you perceive, but through your eyes as an adult.
So
And,
beautiful.
So we have to know through our this is what my perception was, and which was not totally correct, as I kind of explained. So, as you're listening to the show, I kind of want you to think back to, through your eyes, what was your perception as a child? What were you going through? How did you perceive love and joy and happiness in your life? Because that has a lot to do with how it molds you as a person, again, from the generational. So I'm just so grateful that we're having this conversation today and able to go over so much material to kind of a lot of food for thought. Because in order to be a healthy person, we have to have healthy thoughts and healthy minds, which is one of my meditation tapes called Detox the Mind and the Body Will Heal. It's part of one of my meditations. So it's a guided meditation, which is absolutely phenomenal. Things have turned around in their lives just by listening to the tape.
It's a gift.
Yes,
it is. To
and
meditate.
then my name, we talked about your name.
Yes.
My first name is Chi. It's Chi Energy.
Chi energy. Yes.
And I deal so much with the whole aspect with a person with energy.
Yes.
Because it's all energy.
It's all energy. This is one
Yes.
of the most beautiful things when you recognize, and I know you had near-death experiences,
Yeah.
but I've had multiple near-death experiences. When you come back from
Mm-hmm.
one of those, your only desire is to serve and to
Yes.
co-create a feeling. When you go into the heavenly realm of connected to everything,
Mm-hmm.
that's what, when we step into our spiritual selves, we're connected to every other person. We're connected to the moment. We're connected to everything as
Yes.
energy. Then we get into...
And the listeners, you are too.
Yes.
We're saying we, but we've all had a journey. So take this into yourself as well. Right now, right here in this very moment. Take this into yourself.
Dear miracle maker, when you are connected to your true spirit,
Mm-hmm.
to your spiritual self, it's timeless.
Yes.
Moments just move. You're connected to everyone and everything. I love the movie Titanic when the two of them are on the helm, right? They're on and they're feeling so alive. The wind through their hair, timeless. They could have stood there for a moment, or it could have been their entire life. Was such a rich moment. That's what it feels like to be spirit connected.
And love. Love. I mean, love is so powerful.
It's so beautiful.
I've seen people heal not just loving themselves, most important, loving yourself. Because there's a couple of questions I asked, so I'm not going to get into it today. But it's so important to love yourself.
Yes.
And that's what you saw there. But we have to realize that God first loved us.
Yes. Spirit, God, universe,
first loved
flow,
us. He forgave us. He forgave us.
Absolutely.
So we have to learn to forgive others.
I love this. Then you break it up into mental and emotional.
Yes.
Your spirit gets broken into mental compartments and emotional compartments.
Exactly.
Emotion is energy in motion. Any emotion that you or your family or collective society hasn't dealt with winds up having to be dealt with in your body. And that's the physical result. A lot of the things that we're seeing today, kids are not living as long. The number one reason for 5 to 11-year-olds going into the hospital is suicide attempts by 5 and 11-year-olds. They're mostly spirit still. They don't have the capacities of the mental and emotional tools that their adult parents have access to. They're just trying to annihilate their own spirit spiritually. This work, this heartbreak that all of society is living in right now requires each one of us to step into forgiveness and to step into these processes.
Yes.
Because no one else can do the work for you. No one else can connect you. And that first step, be in the moment. That second step, recognize that you're judging, and that judgment keeps both of you stuck. The third process is, in every betrayal, in every heartbreak, in every moment, there is the possibility of gaining something that was lost. You can identify what was lost, what might have been taken away, what you didn't even know was of value to you at that moment.
Until it's gone.
If you take your mom for granted over and over and over again, if you are an entitled person and you take with your parents, eventually that no matter what, they're not going to be at that same level as they age, partly because your hearts are connected.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the other part of that is from heartbreak, from conversations that you're like, oh, I need to forgive, or that person needs to forgive me. You can truly, truly see what can be lost.
Right. And I just want to say what we have in our society today as well, people are living longer, but people are dying longer.
Yes.
You're living longer and dying longer.
You are. It's an interesting time.
Because of the illnesses, because the long suffering with a chronic disease, the long suffering with hypertension, the long suffering because you had a stroke, that was all attached to something else emotionally. So we're living longer, but we're dying longer. And that's sad. We don't have to do that. And that's why we have this show today.
This is why forgiveness is the key.
The key.
So the first step, the second step, the third step, you're going to notice what was lost. Mm-hmm. You're going to crave or want back what was lost. The fourth thing is really this level of commitment. Yeah. This is why marriages are made. This is why people have commitments in communities, right? Within Miracle Makers Academy, we've got lifetime membership. When you commit to lifetime membership, you're committing to being the most you can be for yourself, for the community, and families are lifetime memberships.
Yes.
You make relationships.
I soon to be a lifetime.
Yes. You become lifetime.
Yes.
And this lifetime belonging umbrella commitment allows for you to know, wow, in this group, I'm going to be forgiven.
Yes.
In this, I belong. In this.
It's a wonderful tribe, a wonderful group of people.
I can unpack
I can
my
be myself.
stuff. So
I can be myself.
You want to create that. Mm-hmm. That fourth level, whether it's with the best friend, you go out and you commit to, I'm going to forgive you no matter what. My husband and I developed that in our marriage. When we first got married, I was really broken. I had an eating disorder, sleeping disorder. I was extremely jealous. I had a lot of rage I hadn't dealt with. Mm-hmm. And he had...
You would never believe that.
I know. Yeah. my husband, too, had all of the things that he needed to unpack, that he hadn't been able to unpack. And in our commitment, we committed to, you're forgiven before you do anything.
Right.
And that forgiveness allowed us to unpack these complicated feelings and these complicated past experiences and unpack, the epigenetics, that came from my parents, that came from my grandparents.
I don't have to carry that.
I don't have to carry that.
And let me just add, too, you're speaking in regards to your relationship. Those who are not in relationships must be authentic with themselves.
Yes.
You have to turn around and be authentic with yourself. So each one of these steps in relationships, take that into you as a person. You can lie to a lot of people, or you can, not be authentic to a lot of people, but you must be true to you so that you could stay well.
I think,
and number one, forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself.
Each one of these steps you have to do within yourself. You do within a relationship.
Yes.
You be committed in a relationship, but most important, be committed to yourself.
that commitment, the
Yes.
breaking, taking a break, and
Mm-hmm.
really allowing yourself to step into awe as well.
Yes.
One of the reasons that people commit to life coaching and to working with someone long term is they want to be able to unpack their stuff, their complicated stuff, and they want to be called out on when they're not. When you work with someone really talented, a healer's healer,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're a healer's healer.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When you work with, I'm a healer's healer. When you work with a healer's healer, they can call you out and say, listen, I know you're saying these words, but this is what I'm seeing in the energy field that's around you. This is what my gut instinct, my intuition is telling me. When you commit to work with someone for a year or for 3 years or for a period, 3 months, when they're calling you out on stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you get to unpack in a place where you're held so
Yeah.
you can examine yourself.
And you have to feel comfortable with that person. Mine is a little different in my clinic because
Yes.
we pray, we meditate, we put God first.
Yes.
So in doing that, it's revealed to me what's going on with the person, and we try to get that turned around right away.
I think God is the best.
You know,
Faith.
number one,
Number
you have to have faith. If you don't have faith,
Yes.
you go to a practitioner and they tell you these things. If you don't believe in that practitioner you can't just have faith. You must have faith in God, but you just can't turn everything over to that practitioner. You have to believe yourself. But if you feel uncomfortable in any way with that practitioner, then you're not going to be helped.
You're not.
So you have to take that in.
This is the key around that
Mm-hmm.
is everyone is projecting, right? Everything that hasn't been dealt with becomes a projection.
Yes, it does.
And you're going to project that onto the person that might be healing you. You might project that onto your boss. You might project that on. And you've got to be in a space where you have trust, faith in the inner knowing within yourself.
Exactly.
So that you can recognize, wow, that was a projection versus that was an authentic event that happened. The larger frame is always going to swallow the smaller frame.
Yes.
So when you're looking in a room, the first thing you notice is usually the window, and then you might notice the art.
Mm-hmm.
And you allow yourself to get in places. If you actually want to heal, it's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be fun to go through those. I think we've only got a few minutes left.
We might have to do a part two.
We might have to do a part
two on a show because, normally in the last few minutes of the show, if you can, and I know you have so much more to say, if you can just kind of highlight the topics real quick in 2 minutes, and then I'll kind of wrap up. But
that sounds perfect.
But, look into that audience eyes so they can get it, because this is so powerful.
It's so powerful. Forgiveness is for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Hebrew word named naz. When you truly forgive, you carry the gift that of whatever event happened for the rest of your lives. And so we went through the first 4. The 5th one is the epigenetics, your parents, your grandparents. You're going to have to carry everything that they went through with forgiveness. Number 6 is there's a shadow self. You've got a shadow that you're not even aware of. The only way that you can see that is going through this forgiveness work. And you ask powerful questions to people that you love and have earned the right to hear your story. You get your shadow self. Then the 7th part is really the now moment being viewed through your heart being wide open, living in awe, living wide open is the 7th key. That living open allows you to know, wow, I don't know what the next moment is going to bring, but I'm going to love it and I'm going to forgive everything before it even happens to know the next level of myself.
Thank you so much. So well put. Thank you. And I just want to thank everyone, too, for tuning in. And as our topic on forgiveness, because of my own journey, we all have journeys, and I know that forgiveness actually brought me out of a coma. Forgiveness did bring me out of a coma, the first coma, not the second one, because of where I was in life. But I want to say that it is so important. The research is there. It isn't just a show today with this wonderful word forgiveness, and because an unforgiven heart is going to cause you some problems. I see it all the time. Unfortunately, I've lost two very dear friends to a heart attack from heart disease because of something that attacked their heart that was very dear to them, and they're no longer with us. Like I said, the Mayo Clinic definitely broken heart syndrome. So if you have a broken heart, you have to protect yourself. Know that every university now has done extensive research to show the limbic area of the brain, what is going on there with not having forgiveness. The simple exercise I was going to show you that would take your body totally at ease is a 1 little minute exercise to breathe in through your nose on a count of 5. Breathe out through a count of 5. And try to do that for 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. The longer, the better, because you're going to bring down your blood pressure, your heart rate. You're going to decrease that cortisol level that's coming from the kidneys, and that leads you to all kind of problems. So those hormones, you want to get balanced. Hormones are very important. So when we look at the body, we want everything balanced. You want your hormones balanced, your external environment, things that can bother you there and upset you. So today is just have been focused just on the forgiveness. But I'm telling you, it's all come together for your own good. And if you want to live, I had a gentleman real quick. He did a detox of his house and got rid of all the negative energy in his house. And he had stage 4 cancer. And in 6 weeks, he went back to the VA. They examined him twice, and the cancer was gone. Now, I don't think it was gone through a few of my treatments and a change of diet. I think once he really went into himself and got rid of all that negative energy and found out that he didn't feel loved, and he went to his 22 family members, he has sisters and brothers, and who that loved him, they loved on him, he loved himself, and that just started regenerating and healing the cells. So this research is already out there, and I'm so grateful that I have seen it. And this is the first thing I do when a person walks into that office is we're going to talk about, you have a disease title. Okay, that disease title is not who you are. It isn't who you are. So there's so many emotional things that are linked to it. So I'm just so grateful that I have the opportunity to have Dr. Sarah Larsen, medical intuitive, an MD. She's a physician, to had her on the show for us to discuss this wonderful topic on heartbreak that we all had to deal with. Forgiveness, the journey of forgiveness, which is a journey. Remember, I want everybody to do this every day. Detox forgiveness. Set yourself up a detox forgiveness. You can detox your colon, you can detox heavy metals, but start off with detox forgiveness. Now, as I always end the show, what do I say? And everybody repeat after me, because the wonderful power of I am. So please repeat after me.
Yes.
I am
so
grateful that I am a magnet for miracles. Love yourself. Hug yourself. Treat everybody kindly. You don't have to always give money to someone. Give them a smile. Have a blessed day.
Join us every Wednesday live at 11 a.m. for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Remember, healthy mind, healthy body.